Jurrien, welcome to Arsenal Football Club. My name is Victor, and I'm here to dish it out on today's episode on Football Intel. So we're talking about Jurrien today. It's all news out there that he is an Arsenal football player. Jurrien is someone that is coming with so much potential, so much pedigree, just at the age of 22. But there is also so much about him when it comes to the price tag. At 22, he's been able to do his bidding in Ajax. He started off with the lower division, that's the young Ajax, and he stepped up with his brother, who happened to be twin with him. And they both were elevated to the senior squad of Ajax. He is a good defender, no two ways about that. He operates from the right side of the defense, that's the right back. And he has made his mark. He was at the World Cup just like his brother. And they've been progressing side by side, if you may ask me. But there's one thing about his price tag that bothers me a lot. 40 million pounds for him at 22. Personally, I think is overpriced. But yeah, what can I say? Because this period has shown that many players have been, their prices have been inflated. But somehow I wonder, how can Arsenal in this time of the economy pull out 200 million pounds? I mean, 200 million pounds for just 3 players. Well, it's almost sealed that Declan Rice will be joining Arsenal at 100 million, 5 million pounds add-ons if he does well over a few seasons of the contract. Then we have Kai Havertz, 65 million. Don't touch that. It is 65 million and it's sealed. So imagine adding 100 plus 65 plus this 40. We are talking about over 200 million pounds. Please tell me, are the Saudis sponsoring Arsenal? Could it be that something is happening behind our back and we don't know? Who would believe that in this time that Arsenal will be pulling out 200 million pounds for just 3 players? 3. 1 forward, 1 midfield player, and 1 defensive player. 200 gone. Well, it's all good that Arsenal is in the market very early, even trying to dust out these deals before the preseason starts on Sunday. That's this Sunday. It's almost so possible that Jurrien will join the team by the weekend, and maybe Declan Rice too. As we are talking, the medicals are running right now as we are talking, and it's looking so sure that everything will come out so clean. Okay. So, but now let's talk about the tactical part of Jurrien. Jurrien will be of good advantage for Arsenal. Very good addition for the club, if you ask me. But the question out there will be, will he be just like some of our defenders that came with so much hope, or came with so much aspiration, so much trust that when they get into the team, they will do the needful and get into the team so quickly and make their impact straight up. Okay, there is this new thing about the Arsenal coach that many clubs might be copying next season. And what is that? For the fact that they have somebody like, they use Zinchenko the way they used him last week, or the way he performed to last season. Find out that you're having a left wing back coming into the midfield. And let me tell you, that might just be it for Jurrien. Reason why the club has been after him, because he does that so effortlessly. I repeat, so effortlessly. He can dangle from the far right and get into the midfield. Mind you, in Ajax, he plays also from the center defense. He can bust through the center and throw out his passes. So cool of him. What about his long passes? Oh, so magnificent. Even though that in the Eredivisie, in the Dutch league, they play their football down. They don't throw up passes. But this guy has shown that he is so good with those long balls. And mind you, when there is an counter-attacking time, man, you can count him on that. He's so good with that. And what about the ball? Can he control the ball? Sure. He is very good with controlling the ball. Oh, speed. He's got it. He's got that speed that you need for a regular defender. Now that I've mentioned all the good part of him, all his positives, I think I need to also mention about this. And that is about his headings. He has performed so badly when it comes to defending with his head. And mind you, the Premier League is not a league where you just come and play when it comes to all balls. Then I asked, how will he be able, with his height of 5'9", how will he be able to match up with Haaland? Think of it. How will he be able to match up with Mitrovic? One might be like, oh, come to think of it, you have other center defender that. But see, in Ajax, he was the last man standing because of one, his pace, and the way he is also good in defending. So they left him out there, and it really worked for them. What about that? What about if he is the last man standing? Yes, one might be like, okay, with people like Haaland, he might do his bidding. But mind you, he hasn't also grown that physique, okay, that muscle to stay strong and to withhold physical pressure from top guys like Mitrovic and Haaland. One might be like, oh, why am I just mentioning about this? Because they've proven that they are strong with the ball and they are even strong without the ball. So you need someone that will be so agile. And one might also be thinking that, oh, come to think of it, you have somebody like Terry. Back in the days, Terry was known as a short man. Okay, maybe I don't have better words to use, but yeah, he does not have a good height. But Terry is one exceptional defender. Okay. So, but you ask me, this is 22, a boy of 22 years old. Will he be able to hold that position tight? Mind you, Arsenal still has Tomiyasu, and you find out that over these few seasons, he has not been able to play from game one to the last game in a season. He's always from one injury to the other, to the other, to the other. But let's see how it goes. If it's about having two far defenders, I mean, from the two and from the three, coming into the midfield to help, it will make so much sense. And mind you, last season, Arsenal really had it tough when Zinchenko was not available. Tierney already, it's for me, it's almost time off for him to leave the club. And yes, when Partey was there, was active, I mean when he did not have injury and he was doing well, he was moved to that position to help out the left side of the midfield. But as it stands, if this deal goes through, yes, one might be like, oh, come on, it's just about medicals. But mind you, medicals can also put deals into bad shape and bad shape. So at the end of the day, let's see how it goes. But let me tell you, the 40 million, I wish that Arsenal could have done better. Okay, mind you, at the end of the day, this young lad is moving into a club where he will be able to sell himself. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's not just about these players. It's also about the club who wants to make out every possible money out of the English sides, knowing that the English side, they have the money and they can pay for these players. Mind you, this young lad, when his brother, who is a midfielder, And who is doing so well in Feyenoord when the brother moves from Ajax to Utrecht? Just last season, just about this time last season, he moved to Feyenoord for how much? For just £8 million. And I bet you, Quentin Timber is doing so well. And at the end of the day, look at what happened. He was able to help his team to win to win the league, which is so cool for Feyenoord to win the league. So imagine just last year, the brother was paid, and I tell you, the brother has so much positive going out for him, and he was paid just 8 million to move from Utrecht, and he was even the highest paid player for Utrecht. Well, he moved from Utrecht to Feyenoord for just £8 million. 1 year after, his brother, who happens to be a defender, and defenders don't cost as much as midfielders, who is now moving for £40 million. To me, that's just too much. Arsenal needs to spend more money. No two ways about that. You cannot just bring only 3 players to the team and you just want to win the league. Everybody saw what happened last season. Arsenal need to fortify many areas of their game. What about what happened to Xhaka? What happens if after 25 games next season he loses his form? What if he does not even start the new season in a high note? What then happens to that position? Are you telling me that Kai Havertz will handle that place? No. Remember what I also said just recently about Pepe. Pepe cannot match up with Saka. Pepe might just be leaving the club. Who else will now fit in that position? Would that be Real Nelson? Can he do that? So at the end of the day, you find out that Arsenal needs to spend. And take a look at what happened to them last season. For a club to be top of the league for 245 days, and at the end of the day, you lose the league, that has never happened in the history of the Premier League. So they need to find out ways to bring in players, quality players that will be able to stand in the line whenever a top player is down. If they really want to go into the Champions League and do good in the Champions League and at the same time win the Premier League, they must be able to spend more. So it will not stop these £200 million. Yeah, some people might be like, oh, they're going to make more money. They are making sales. They will be selling Xhaka. Might sell Pepe, and they might sell Partey, who wants to leave the club. At the end of the day, they should gather those money and they will be able to spend more. But it is not an easy feat for Arsenal right now. £200 million, that's too much. Well, welcome to the club, Timber. And we pray and we hope that at the end of the day, your price tag will be worth it at the end of the day. Thanks for watching this episode of Football Intel. See you some other time.